but yeah, I'll kind of wander down with you and sort of wander around and kind of take photos and stuff. Just one thing, in terms of the countryside code, just one of the things we do at conservation that has come from the countryside code is to make sure that you stay kind of 6 metres away from the penguins at all times. If they come to you, if you're stood there and they come to you, you don't need to kind of back off or anything. And if you're sat down and one comes right up to you, because sometimes, especially I think someone said they're maybe going to Volunteer Point, sometimes if you're sat near penguins, they'll come right up to you. 3 different species of penguin that we get on this beach. The only ones that we don't get here is the rockhoppers and the macaroni. Okay, which fingers crossed you'll see on Sea Line. Well, you will see rockhoppers on Sea Line, and fingers crossed you'll see the macaroni as well.
That last year was the anniversary, the 40th anniversary of the war conflict that happened in 1982. Some people like to call it a war, some people like to call it a conflict, and I'm not going to get bogged down in that argument. So good for a night out if you're allowed to go and drink. And because it was a reasonable sized ship that came in today. And there we go, there was a male and a female down here. Joyce always likes to fly her flag. You see lots of flags flying around. Flags are really important. Christen their children if they are of a Christian belief, get married. Similarly, funerals will be held in this place as well. And our big services like for commemorating Liberation Day, the 14th of June, which will finish the tour, just the last stop before the Malvina with the Liberation Memorial. Way too sensible for that. You won't take names away. They were what we call military pensioners, but they weren't like real old age pensioners. To send down the task force in 1982 to liberate the Falkland Islands from the Argentine commemorate and remember Margaret Thatcher. And this was made by a local.
Issue by issue basis, so you could be in the UK, Western Superman. Okay.
Children come and stay for the week and go back to their houses with the I mean, you look over there.
It's a nice tradition, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got a great picture. Dave and Charlie.
If I can have your attention, please. There is a few bits of housekeeping that we need to go through. So, first of all, we would like to extend a very warm welcome to the Falklands 40 School Competition winners. These guys over here, I'm sure you can tell that they are not our usual crew. We don't expect you to do every dance, but we do expect you to get up and participate. If you already know how to dance, there are a few of you that I can see who definitely know how to dance. Go back on Friday. I'm Katie, and I kind of work on the Peatlands of the Falklands. So for the first time, does anyone know what peat is?
thing on the floor, like
Squishy stuff on the floor. Else have any thoughts, ideas, what peat is? Go ahead.
I mean, I know it's combustible, like they use it in Scotland a lot, used to light fires, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, is it like made up of like dead matter?
Yeah, exactly. So peat is basically kind of like a soil that forms in areas where
So, we're going to maybe look and talk about zooplankton. But when we talk about zooplankton, do you actually know what they are?
These are like microorganisms in the surface, or like kind of like
Yeah.
top layer.
Yeah. So they actually are the whole water column through. So from the surface, but that's fair enough. It's not. We're going to talk about the surface layers. So small organisms. Do we know maybe what kind of organisms? That's okay. Invertebrates, yes. Yes. So zooplankton, it's a really ambiguous name, right? We have copepods in there. You'll see them on the microscope. And
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be playing. Amazing.
Orientate on a map.
there's really Oh no, he's walking away.
Every photo I take.
There's like no trying to put my shoe on.
This window's looking at me now. I can't get it up.
Track them down.
Which is a farm that's owned by the government. It's around probably 2 hours from here.
Yeah.
We're going to swing by Goose Green on the way. Goose Green is another farm that's a statutory body.
During the war, I was a kid at Blue Beach. Don't know if you've been there. Ever been there? Okay, I don't know if you plan to go there, but it's where the British landed in April.
So we've learned more about like the wool and how the sort of standard of wool is in the Falklands and their main exports. So Uruguay would be one of the main people they'd export to. So yeah, that's mainly what we learnt about today.
And what would you say is sort of the most interesting thing that you've learned?
I think about learning the breeds of the sheep and how that affects the coarseness of the wool, and how the finer wool is softer, obviously, and the coarser wool is a bit more rough, and how the standards progress throughout the years as they've got more different genetics into the islands.
And finally, we're going to go to Saladera in a little bit. Is there anything that you're looking forward to or hoping to find out?
I'm looking forward to working with the animals most. I think it'll be really interesting to see how they're farmed over here and what the differences are between back home and here, mainly.
Alright, can you tell me a little bit about what that experience was like shearing a sheep? Was that your first time?
Yes, it was. It was an interesting experience. The sheep were a bit, unsettled, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Obviously, this is, part of real Falklands culture. Do you feel like you kind of got a bit of a taste of that today?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a few sheep shearers here. I guess that's what they do in the village. Yeah.
And also, you would have seen this morning, you went over to Saladero Farm. How was that? What did that teach you today?
Yeah, well, it was a lot of fun. They showed us how they would monitor the sheep with a chip in their ear. And then after that, we had a barbecue and had some burgers and lamb chops.
You know how both your faces are absolutely ridiculous doing that?
There you go, right, move her.
It only took 3 people.
Let me see it.
Yay!
Well, of course, the students are here on the Falklands 40 Schools Competition, and throughout this week we've visited various sites of British commemoration. We've been to the Liberation Memorial in Stanley, and yesterday on Sea Lion Island we were at the memorial to HMS Sheffield. And as we were here in Goose Green and Darwin, we thought it was really important to take the students here as well, so that they could see how the Argentine victims of the conflict in 1982 are commemorated. I think, like most places of commemoration, it's always amazing how people fall quiet and become very thoughtful and reflexive, and that's again how things have happened here. I think they were
takeoffs down here at Whalebone Cove next to the Lady Liz shipwreck, so we can actually go out and have a good look at the shipwreck. Sometimes the little commerson's dolphins are in and around the narrowest point and things like that, so fingers crossed we'll see a few bits. It's really baggy spider rotating. It's like this. Yeah, and it just
I was just saying when we came down here that Cape Pembroke as a wildlife place is arguably one of the most impressive seabird watching places on the planet actually. I can go on my camera, and then I've got the aperture also at the widest it can be, so the lowest number, which is 5.6 on here, and I've got the ISO 100 there. If I wouldn't normally realise because they're just not, you know, tuned into what's happening here. We've got 2 endemic bird species.
3 homes in Stanley using it for real.
Hey.
Only 3 houses?
Yeah.
Right.
When I first started with tourism about 6 years ago, there was something like 12 houses using it for real.
Okay. The blocks are considerably getting smaller.
I can almost feel the physical effort.
It's a pity that Abby wasn't here because her dad would have cut many yards of peat, or his grandfather. So.
It's blinking hard work then if you're doing that for a...
Yeah.
Whiskey!